Mr. President, it is also coincidental that multiple news outlets revealed a damning link between Senator Marcoleta and the Discayas. In one news story, a relative of Senator Marcoleta was said to hold a directorship at Stronghold Incorporated and Milestone Guarantee insurance companies that provided bonds for contractors owned by the flood control king and queen, Curly and Sara Discaya, at the center of a multi-billion peso flood control corruption scandal, raising conflict of interest questions in a high-profile Senate probe. Hindi pa po dito nagtatapos ang pagbibida ni Senator Marcoleta. Noong September 25, 2025, nagpresenta si Senator Marcoleta ng surprise witness sa katauhan ni Mr. Orly Gutesa. As chairman, I did not raise any objection to members like him introducing surprise witnesses during the proceedings at that time, as long as it can help in unearthing the truth behind the flood control mess, including and most importantly, exposing the masterminds if evidence warrants. Gayunpaman, hindi pa man tapos ang araw, pumalag na sa media ang sinasabing nakapirma sa notary public na si Attorney Pechi Espera. Nakalaunan ay naging kasalanan ko pa din sa paningin ni Senator Marcoleta. Hindi po ang Senado ang nag-iimbestiga at nagbigay ng hatol na forged ang notaryo ni Gutesa. Mismong ang Branch 18 ng Regional Trial Court ng Manila ang nag-imbestiga. Independent yon sa Senado. Sa halip na tanggapin, galit pa sa resulta ng kaso dahil hindi naaayon sa gusto niyang kalalabasan ng imbestigasyon. Asal bida talaga. Ang matindi pa, nanakot pa na magsasampa ng kaso laban sa judge at abogado. Again, style bida. Pa-victim effect pa po masyado na parang bida sa pelikula. Mr. President, ang kwento pa, ako daw ang nagpapahiwatig na tinuturuan o kinocoach niya si Gutesa sa bahaging ito ng pagdinig. Mr. President, sa obserbasyon ng napakaraming nanonood, tila baga tinuturuan niya kung anong pahina. Page 20 nga daw ang basahin. Sa kamalasan niya, nagkataon na putol pala ang kopya ng affidavit ni Gutesa. Kung todo, tinayuan pa niya para ibigay ang kanyang kopya na parang bida sa eksena. Nakalimutan yata ni Senator Marcoleta na naka-live TV coverage ang pagdinig, kaya walang pakundangan at walang kahihiyan sa inasal niya. Kaya nga kitang-kita, pati si Henry Alcantara tawang-tawa. Nakalimot din sandali na hindi pa siya state witness nung nag-testify si Gutesa. Let us watch the actual video dahil baka sabihin na naman niya nag-splice kami ng video. Let's watch.
Nasabing basura, ito.
Merong napuputol sa binabasa mo eh. Huwag kang magmadali. Huwag kang magmadali.
Naputol na.
Ulitin mo yung paragraph 20.
Wala na akong, hindi ko makita na putol na siya.
I strongly deny that I made mention of him coaching Gutesa, Mr. President. Ulitin ko sakaling hindi pa rin talaga magets. Tinanggap pa rin ng komite ang sinumpang salaysay ni Gutesa bilang valid at bahagi ng record dahil sa katotohanan siya ay personal na humarap at nagpatunay under oath ng nilalaman ng kanyang affidavit. Ang masama, Mr. President, tinanggap naman natin sa record ang testimonya ni Mr. Gutesa. Hindi pa rin tumitigil sa kakareklamo si Senator Marcoleta. Mr. President, ang tunay na issue hindi ang forged na affidavit kundi ang biglaang pagtatago at pagkawala ni Gutesa. For the information of this body, Mr. Gutesa, who was presented as a witness by Senator Marcoleta, has been unavailable since his initial appearance. Moreover, the committee made the option for Senate protection available to him, but he declined as evidenced by his signed waiver. And we are dutiful in locating him, Mr. President. Pinuntahan namin ang lahat ng addresses para mayabot ang imbitasyon ng komite and even rigorously visited our CCTV camera footage. Again, displaying his obsessiveness for the nth time, Senator Marcoleta even lambasted me by implying that I was surveilling his office. Galit na galit. Samantalang nais lamang nating matukoy kung sakaling may kasama si Mr. Gutesa nang dumating sa Senado upang sa gayon ay magkaroon tayo ng lead kung paano siya muling maimbita sa susunod na pagdinig. Hindi ko na nga pinalaki ang aking mga obserbasyon sa paksang ito, Mr. President. Sa halip, sinubukan pa rin naming hingin ang kanyang tulong sa paghahanap kay Sergeant Gutesa. Again, Senator Marcoleta in his TV show ranted against me. Let's watch.
Tatanungin ko siya, bakit mo kinur sa akin ito? Iniinsulto mo ba ako? Parang insulto naman sa akin yun. Ba't mo ikukor sa akin? Sino ka ba?
I dare ask, Mr. President, if a committee member brings a witness bearing such damaging allegations, does the burden of transparency not follow? Is it not just proper to cooperate with the committee regarding his whereabouts? Why then does Senator Marcoleta find my position so offensive? On many occasions, Senator Marcoleta made statements that undermined the authority and collective integrity of the committee. Mukhang aabutin tayo hanggang bukas kung iisa-isahin ko pa lahat ang katakot-takot na pag-alipusta ni Senator Marcoleta sa komite na kinabibilangan din naman niya. He continued the same litany in his speech yesterday, Mr. President. Let me count and rebut it once and for all. 1. On the release of the minority report. Tahasang pinagmamalaki ni Senator Marcoleta ang minority report for the lack of better term, he said, sa kanyang nilabas noong December 10, 2025, na siya ring naging paksa ng kanyang litanya kahapon. For his information, I wish to underscore a part of Section 22 of the Senate Rules shown on the screen, which states that, and I quote, concurring and dissenting reports may likewise be made by the members who do not sign the majority report within 72 hours from the approval of the report. Napakalinaw naman po, Mr. President. Concurring and dissenting reports may be made 72 hours after the committee report has been approved by the majority vote of all its members. Siya na nga itong gawa ng mga bagay na wala naman sa alituntunin ng Senado. Pagkatapos, ako ang pagbibintangan niya na epal. He even had the audacity to declare, and I quote his speech, a submission anchored on the same hearings, 3 of which he actually presided, the same resource persons, and the same affidavits. Masasabi ba niyang pangbasura lang din ang lahat ng yun? At this point, Senator Marcoleta must know that rhetorical fallacies do not amuse me, Mr. President. If the release of this so-called minority report and its contents did not amount to a direct affront to the chairman and to the committee as a collegial body, then I'm not sure what is. May I also emphasize, Mr. President, that this same report brazenly stated that, and I quote, the BRC, Blue Ribbon Committee, cannot and should no longer compete with the National Prosecution Services and eventually the judiciary in finally disposing of these cases, unquote. Clearly implying that the committee must conclude its proceedings. Mr. President, sino ba siya para pangunahan ang chairman at ang mayorya na miyembro ng committee? Wala sa lugar. Wala sa hulog. Saganang akin lang din naman, kagulat-gulat po ba ang naging reaksyon ng representasyon na ito na walang lugar ang ulat na yan kundi sa basurahan? Kayo na ang humusga, Mr. President. Number 2, let us go to the BRC draft partial committee report na pinamahagi ng komite noon pang ika-11 ng Pebrero nitong taon, na sa mismong araw na ito ay 1 buwan na ang nakakalipas, na siyempre ay laman din ng only reklamo ni Senator Marcoleta. Anya, ang natanggap ng kanyang opisina ay isang PDF file or document na may watermark ng bawat opisina na nakatanggap nito na wala man lang daw pirma ng chairman ng komite. Natural, Walang pirma dahil advance copies lang naman ang pinadala namin sa opisina ng lahat ng members. Common sense naman po, Mr. President, na binigyan ng soft copy ang bawat miyembro upang madaling mabasa at mapag-aralan ng ang lahat ng nilalaman nito simultaneously. Properly informed naman po ang mga staff ng mga senador na available mula sa aming opisina ang pisikal na kopya na lagpas 400 pages ng committee report upang mapirmahan sa hudyat ng mga ginagalang na miyembro ng committee. Ang ating inisyatibo upang pabilisin ang tamang proseso ay talagang masama pa rin sa paningin ni Senator Marcoleta. Tulad ng ginagawa din naman ng ibang miyembro ng komite, panay din ang follow-up namin sa kanyang opisina na kung nais na ba niyang pumirma sa printed copy ng report. Kahit ay dissent remark ay wala siyang ginawa. Bakit ngayon ay maghahanap siya ng Blue Ribbon Committee report na nakatenga sa kanyang opisina noong 1 buwan pa? Incidentally, as of yesterday, only Senator Bam Aquino has affixed his signature on the partial committee report. It goes without saying that I respect each and every member's decision when they will sign the report, if at all. What I despise is Senator Marcoleta's audacity to lie about his inability to sign the same by citing an untruthful reason for not signing, Mr. President. Number 3, pinipilit niya rin na ilabas ko ang listahan ng 67 contractors. He said in his speech, and I quote, in his press release dated August 10, 2025, posted on the Senate website, the BRC chairman disclosed that House members called him and that he had a list of 67 congressmen who are contractors. Yet, he did not summon them to any BRC hearing. Why did he not name them to be fair to the rest of the members of the House of Representatives? Ito po ang tunay na splice, Mr. President. Kung babasahin lang po ni Ginoong Marcoleta ang susunod na sentence, malinaw na malinaw po, eto, and I'd like to paraphrase. Lacson clarified that he merely asked a congressman friend from the lower house and that, again I quote, I chuckled and said, I don't have a list. Ulitin ko po, noon at hanggang ngayon, kahit ipagpilitan at isplice ng kung sino, wala akong listahan at wala akong sinasabing may hawak akong listahan ng mga tinuguroang contractors.
Wala akong pangalan. Alam mo yung 67 na contractors na naging congressmen or yung congressmen contractors, nakuha ko yan sa isang member ng House noong kasisimula pa lamang ng 19th Congress, 2022.
Number 4, madiin din po ang pag-question ni Senator Marcoleta sa interparliamentary courtesy. He said, and I quote, this doctrine, Mr. President, which is not even part of our rules, is not absolute. And then he added, if anything, those who occupy the highest offices in the government must be the first to answer, not the last to be asked, unquote. Senator Marcoleta even mentioned, again, and I quote, the members of Congress have no immunity from investigation, subpoena, or public scrutiny, unquote. Mr. President, hypothetically, if the House of Representatives initiates an investigation on Senator Marcoleta's statements of contributions and expenditures, or SOSE, over an alleged discrepancy, would the Honorable Senator stand by his position to disregard interparliamentary courtesy? If his former colleagues were to issue a subpoena, a show cause order, or even a warrant of arrest, would he still argue about the relevance of interparliamentary courtesy? Ito po ang tunay na hypothetical question, Mr. President. Lest we forget, 2 taon pa lamang ang nakakalipas, siya mismo ang nagsisisigaw sa House of Representatives at nag-motion na i-terminate ang budget deliberations para bigyan ng parliamentary courtesy ang Office of the Vice President. In his words, Mr. President,
Parliamentary procedures, Madam Chair, grow from or are enriched by traditions, experiences, and precedents.
Yung
cannot like the person. You cannot like her presence here. But you have to respect the office of the Vice President. That is all. Because that is guided by the tradition. Kahapon po, kagaya po na sinabi nila, wala nang pinagtanong sa office of the President. And that is correct. That is in line with that tradition.
Such hypocrisy, such double standard, such a farce that does not dignify an answer, Mr. President. Incidentally, since I mentioned the Sose case with the COMELEC in violation of the Omnibus Election Code, kung ninanais ko lamang na ipahamak siya, ay naghain na sana po ako ng Senate resolution calling for an inquiry in aid of legislation para ipatawag ang mga COMELEC officials upang ipaliwanag bakit masyadong delayed ang usaping ito. When the issue of Senator Marcoleta's failure to disclose his campaign contributors in his sources surfaced, our dear colleague tried to clarify the matter. In fact, during his own show, Saganang Mamamayan, dated November 8, 2025, he made the following disclosure. Please watch.
Nelson, alam mo, mga kaibigan ko, nagbigay sa akin talaga. Alam mo, pakiusap lang nila. Isa lang. Tanggapin mo ang tulong namin sa'yo.
Okay.
Congressman ako noon Kong, kami po ay naniniwala na karapat dapat kang makarating sa Senado. Tanggapin mo ang lagang to. Marami sila. Isa lang ang kanilang pakiusap sa
Ano
akin.
po yun?
Sana wag mo na kaming i-disclose ang identity. Ngayon, kapag ka naglagay ako ng figure sa contribution, mapipilitan akong mag-disclose ng pangalan nila. Alam mo kung bakit? Merong kaakibat na, kung tawagin, ay deed of acceptance of donation. Paano yun kako? Contribution to eh.
Oo.
Hindi, sabi niya, binigay ko nga sa'yo, contribution, pero utang na loob mo sa akin yan. Ituring mo na lang na utang, sabi niya, di ba?
Loan.
But when he was issued a show cause order by the COMELEC, he tried to backtrack on his arguments by saying that he received those contributions when he was not yet a candidate, as defined by the decision of the Supreme Court. I guess Senator Marcoleta and his legal team thought they were being smart by being technical about when these contributions were made. Pero nakakatawa, Mr. President, ay wala nang mas lilinaw pa sa sariling pag-amin ni Senator Marcoleta. Tumanggap siya ng pera para magkaroon siya ng utang na loob sa mga taong yon. Isang maliwanag na admission against interest, ang sabi nga ng mga abogado. Bilang isang abogado, dapat alam ni Senator Marcoleta na dahil dito ay shoot siya sa balde sa kasong indirect bribery under Article 211 ng Revised Penal Code dahil member siya ng House of Representatives ng panahon na yon. Maliwanag sa batas na krimen sa mga public officials na tumanggap ng pera o gift by reason of their office, kahit walang pangako na particular act or omission sa nagbigay ng pera. Bakit nga ba hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa rin nilalabas ng COMELEC ang resolution ng SOSE case ni Senator Marcoleta? Number 4, as for Mr. Saldico, let me state this plainly. 2 beses nating siyang naimbitahan para personal na humarap at personal na mag-testify sa komite. He needs to appear and substantiate the statements he posted on his Facebook account. Twice, he refused, citing medical and security reasons. Dahil sa bigat at seryosong aligasyon kanyang binitiwan, hindi maaaring pahintulutan ng komiting ito na manatiling nakabitin ang mga akusasyon na hindi siya humaharap at nanunumpa sa harap ng kapulungang ito. Sa katunayan, ako pa mismo ang nagmungkahi sa ating chat group na payagan siya magtestigo sa mula sa Philippine Embassy kung saan man siya naroroon. Gayunpaman, pinarating ni Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa mismo ang kanyang apprehension sa suhestyong ito sa pamamagitan ng kanyang text message. Nais ko rin bigyan diin, Ginoong Pangulo, nang diskusyong yon ay nangyari bago pa man ilabas sa social media ni Saldico ang kanyang mga aligasyon. Panghuli, tungkol sa isyu ng apostille. Ang isang apostille affidavit ay hindi kailanman maaaring maging alternatibo sa personal appearance. Hindi ito mapapalitan ng direct testimony at lalong hindi dito mapapalitan ang tungkulin ng isang saksi na harapin ang komite, sagutin ang mga katanungan at sumailalim sa masusing pagsusuri. Kung handa si Saldico na magbitiw ng mga seryosong akusasyon sa publiko, dapat ay handa rin siyang humarap sa atin at panindigan ang mga alegasyong iyon sa ilalim ng sumpa. Ikalima, sa kanyang akusasyon sa representasyon ito kaugnay ni Congressman or former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Kung binasa lamang po ni Senator Marcoleta ang partial committee report, makikita po niya na nakapaloob na doon ang lahat ng nais niyang ipahayag. Kung hindi man higit pa, rekomendasyon para sa fact-finding investigation, AMLAC bank inquiry and filing of freeze order petitions are for future. Kung napakarami pa niyang gustong ipaglaban at paimbestigahan, bakit siya rin ang nagsabi sa kanyang minority report na dapat tapusin na ang pagdinig? Kung sa bagay, kung mayroong isang bagay na consistent si Senator Marcoleta, ito ay ang pagiging inconsistent sa kanyang mga pinagsasasabi. As to the other witnesses allegedly not invited by the committee, it bears stressing that the committee has not terminated its hearings, contrary to the suggestion in the so-called minority report. The intention at this stage is simply to have the partial committee report filed and sponsored in order to reflect the evidence received thus far and to allow the committee to consider the next steps, taking into account the views of the members on other areas that may be pursued as the path forward toward the eventual conclusion of the hearings. As to the other matters raised under the rules of the Blue Ribbon, the chairman serves as the chief executive officer of the committee and, as such, exercises broad discretion over matters pending before it, including the invitation of witnesses. Members may suggest witnesses or move for the invitation during a hearing, and if such motion is approved by the members of the committee, the same will, of course, be respected by the chair. Pang-anim, sa kawalang kamatayang i-give up ang KIG remark na umabot din sa isang full privilege speech upang ipangalandakan na ako ay nasa likod ng pag-splice ng kanyang video upang siya ay siraan. His statement, and I quote, verbatim, Mr. President, ang gawin natin po para madali, i-give up natin ang KIG. Then, mako-coordinate na natin lahat, unquote. Is that merely suggestive, Mr. President? Ito ay kasing kintab ng bumbunan na nasinagan ng tirik na araw sa tanghalin tapat, Mr. President. Sapat lang kanyang hindi matapos-tapos na paliwanag na kesyo hypothetical daw, kesyo joke lang daw, ayon sa kanyang mga pahayag at kalaunan, ay gusto pa niya amyendahan o i-correct ang journal ng Committee on National Defense of the Commission on Appointments. Mag-ingat po tayo rito, Mr. President, sa kanyang gusto mangyari. Your Honor, being the chairman of the Commission on Appointments and some of us here as members, we must study diligently the legal implications of Senator Marcoleta's motion now pending before the Commission on Appointments. Anyway, going back to his i-give up natin yung KIG statement na in-splice ko daw, na marin kong pinabubulaanan, ang masasabi ko bilang analogy sa kanyang sitwasyon ay ganito. When one looks the same as when he does before going to bed at night, how can there be splicing? Inversely, Mr. President, when one looks different going to work during daytime from before going to bed at night, that's when splicing becomes evident. Matanong ko lang po, sino ngayon ang magaling mag-splice, Mr. President? Hindi ko kasalanan ng mga salitang nagmula sa sarili niyang bibig. May tawag nga dito ang mga Gen Z, classic case of gaslighting. Number 7, sangkatutak na ang mga pahayag ni Senator Marcoleta na napakalinaw na hindi pumapabor sa ating pambansang interes. Sangkatutak na rin ang mga nagbigay ng kanilang mga negatibong reaksyon. Ngunit sa hulit-huli ako pa rin ang sinisisi ni Senator Marcoleta. He even went far beyond by debunking and undermining the historical facts about Tomas Cloma. Senator Marcoleta said, I was all wrong when I said that the Sprat list was discovered and consequently occupied and owned by lawyer and businessman Tomas Cloma, citing the principle of terra nullius or res nullius. It was for him a historical distortion. Curiously, Mr. President, these narratives align with those of the Chinese narratives, plucked directly from the People's Republic of China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs official website, Mr. President. Let's show the slides. Ayan po, kita-kita natin kung anong sinabi ng website ng Ministry of Foreign Affairs ng People's Republic of China, yan din ang kanya sinasabi. Now, Senator Marcoleta speaks of a pattern that he himself built in his head to discredit this representation. But if we backtrack the events that transpired in the past several months, one thing is crystal clear. When cornered by the fault of his own doing, he employs a diversionary maneuver, pathetically stretching the conversation, no matter how illogical, until people get drained and tired. Just as a squid squirts ink to darken the water and blind everyone around while it swims away, a person may throw out irrelevant issues, fake scandals, or emotional outbursts to distract the public from the actual evidence or the main point of an investigation. After all is said and done, I am tempted to ask these questions, Mr. President. On the West Philippine Sea, which side of the South China Sea is Senator Marcoleta on? On the anomalous graph-ridden flood control projects, is Senator Marcoleta for the Discayas or the people of the Philippines? I think we know the answers, Mr. President. Thank you, distinguished colleagues, and thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.